He was born under the stars of a golden empire in the city of Avicenna near Bukhara in the year 980 CE, a time when knowledge flourished and empires rose on the shoulders of scholars. His name was Abu Ali al-Hussein ibn Abdullah ibn Sina, but the world would come to know him simply as Ibn Sina, or in the Latinized West, Avicenna, the Prince of Physicians, the philosopher of reason, and the torchbearer of science in an age of darkness. By the age of 10, he had memorized the Quran, and by 16, he had mastered mathematics, astronomy, Islamic law, and logic. But it was medicine that called him. Not just the study of it, but the mastery of it. At 17, he cured a Samanid ruler from an illness no physician could solve, earning access to the royal libraries of Bukhara, where ancient Greek, Indian, and Persian manuscripts whispered secrets to his brilliant mind. What drove him? Perhaps it was the thirst for truth, or the fire of curiosity that no wall could contain. As political tides shifted and dynasties fell, Ibn Sina wandered from city to city, a refugee, a scholar, a healer. Yet through it all, he wrote and wrote, over 450 books, though only about 240 survived, spanning medicine, philosophy, astronomy, physics, logic, psychology, mathematics, chemistry, music, and even poetry. But his masterpiece, the crown jewel, was the Canon of Medicine al-Canon fi al-Tibb, a medical encyclopedia in 5 volumes that remained the standard in European medical schools for over 600 years. Imagine that, a Muslim scholar's work being taught in European universities centuries after his death. In it, he introduced the idea of quarantine to prevent the spread of disease, recognized the contagious nature of tuberculosis, distinguished between different types of hepatitis, and stressed the importance of diagnosis through observation, laying the groundwork for modern clinical medicine. But Ibn Sina wasn't just a physician. He was a philosopher in the truest sense, merging the thought of Aristotle, Plotinus, and Al-Farabi, and influencing great minds like Thomas Aquinas. He spoke of the necessary existent, a concept of God as the origin of all existence, arguing that the universe depends on a single, eternal being. He believed that the human soul is immaterial and immortal, and that through reason and intellect, we could ascend toward divine understanding. To him, faith and reason were not enemies, but allies, and this idea would later shape both Islamic and Western philosophy. Yet he faced resistance. His ideas were too radical for some, too bold for others. He was imprisoned, accused of heresy, and chased by rival scholars and kings alike. But he never stopped. In prison, he wrote. While hiding, he treated the sick. At court, he debated. On horseback, he studied the stars. In war, he penned poems. And at night, under candlelight, he continued his quest for truth. Despite chronic illness, stress, and political turmoil, his intellect blazed until his final days. In 1037 CE, at just 57 years old, Ibn Sina died in Hamadan, Persia, leaving behind a legacy so vast that scholars still grapple with his genius 1,000 years later. His tomb remains there, a silent monument to a restless spirit that once dreamed of a unified understanding of body, mind, and cosmos. His writings would travel through the centuries, translated into Latin, Hebrew, Persian, and many modern languages, inspiring doctors, thinkers, scientists, and seekers of knowledge. And even today, in a world of digital databases and high-speed research, the spirit of Ibn Sina whispers through every stethoscope, echoes in every lecture hall, and lives in every question asked in pursuit of truth. He was not just a physician, not just a philosopher. He was a bridge between East and West, between religion and science, between the ancient world and the modern age. Ibn Sina, a name, a mind, a legacy that refused to be forgotten. So, the next time you hear someone speak of reason, of medicine, of the soul or the stars, remember the boy from Bukhara who grew into a giant, and ask yourself, what passion would you pursue if nothing could stop you? If you've made it this far, then this journey means something to you. So, what are you waiting for? Hit that subscribe button like it's your destiny. Like this story if it moved you. Share it with those who need an escape, and leave me a comment, because your voice matters here. This is just the beginning.